With Selection Sunday just days away, where do you see the Baylor women and men kind of being seated, and what's their sort of ceiling in terms of how far they go?
Well, as far as the Baylor men, lately they've been projected as a 2 seed. I think it's more like a 3 now after losing that game to Iowa State. That 21 championship team, that team could beat anybody because it was so good defensively. This team is not good defensively. They've got a lot of holes. They just don't guard people as tight. They just don't have like a good defensive stopper. And that's going to hurt them, especially when their shooting's off. I'm going to say, I think they can make the Sweet 16, maybe the Elite 8. I think it's going to be really hard to make the Final Four since you rely so much on 3-point shooting and your defense is kind of sketchy. So I don't know. What do you think about the women?
So a lot of the projections have had the women as an 8 or a 9 seed, which, again, is so different than what, we're used to and around here in Waco. I mean, they're usually a very high seed. I know a couple podcasts ago, I said something about, I thought that they would be like a 6, but in thinking about it more and sort of just putting the math to it, I think 8 or 9 is probably about right, honestly, just how kind of up and down they've been. And so then, when you're an 8 or a 9 seed, you're immediately in a dogfight of a game, in the NCAA tournament. 8 plays 9. So you're facing another team that's sort of in your realm in terms of at least the way the selection committee kind of shakes it out. I've said for a few weeks, I think this team for Nikki Collin, their absolute peak is probably Sweet 16. And that's the peak. I mean, they're going to have to play well to get to the Sweet 16. Can they win 2 games, to start off the NCAA tournament? Sure, they can. And, the thing, like I said, the thing I think they do have going for them in terms of a team that is a dark horse that could make a run, the fact that they have played well on the road and in neutral sites, that, for whatever reason, that they seem to play better and be more focused outside of Waco. And then the other thing I would say is the fact that they have beaten good teams all year long. Like, they've lost to some, but they've also beaten plenty of them, Right. Villanova's right outside the top 10 in the country. They've beaten Villanova. They've played Michigan, they've played Arizona, they've played Maryland, who's a top 10 team. And, those games they lost, but they've also beaten Texas and beaten Iowa State and beaten OU on the road, So yeah, I mean, they're capable. They have to play well, obviously. And they're just so streaky. I mean, so to me, the thing that they have to do that would be more consistent would be really get after it defensively, because when they do, they can be pretty good defensively. To me, Caitlin Bickle is really smart. Jamie Asbury's best contributions may be on defense. She's feisty. And so when they're executing their defensive game plan, that can make up for, streaky shooting, and then if you can just get hot, I mean, Sarah Andrews has had some runs this year where, she's been looking like one of the best guards in America, but then she has stretches where she doesn't. So, you got to put it all together, and we'll see if they can do that.